Okay, let's start our session. I try to speak a bit not so loud. Dear colleagues and our guests, I'll be your moderator. My name is Jānis Bokta. Sadly, you don't know me, as a lot of you I see also for the first time. Probably you don't know also our great speakers, but you will definitely hear them today. And for a best or a good audience, I have to find someone that we all know. And I hope that we all know Abrahams. Am I right? Probably you don't know Abrahams, but you should know Abrahams Maslow. And if you don't know even him, you should know his theory of needs that's been quite heavily discussed in education system. And as a moderator, I have to set some playground, some rules or a framework what we are going to talk about. And when we talk or I think about physical life, then I completely agree with this hierarchy. And I can imagine that what's written, what's described is a reality, and even I take it as myself. But from today's perspective, and when I imagine tomorrow, I do miss one thing. And this one thing is internet. And even if you will argue that I can find in a place where internet we can set in this pyramid, then we might even argue in which level we should put it in. What the reason is, I'm 33 years old, and I had this possibility or opportunity to live in a childhood. Whereas, for example, if my neighbor had a cat, I went to him and touched a cat, saw a cat, and I could smell it. I can feel its scratch, so I can physically understand about things what's going on in real life. Today, thing is in a bit, it changes. Probably the classmates first don't see his other classmate cat in real life. He usually probably will see it in Twitter, internet, Facebook, whatever. And the same is when we talk about really great things. Here you can see our National Library, quite great masterpiece, right besides, now it's to the right. Yes, but anyway, when you build something in a real life, you do really know, you can see it, touch it, smell it. So naturally, you understand how to behave in a physical world. And here I can demonstrate you revolutionary 2 steps for privacy and security, what we can do in a physical life. Very easy. We just lock the door, close the curtains, and we can do in a such physical world all the things necessary for keeping privacy and security. And for 99% it will work. But when the thing turns to internet, and as you have heard maybe in other sessions, then we Latvians really believe in a virtual world, in an internet. We do put there a lot of services, online bankings, and so we will have several hundreds of e-services that will be given us from an estate. So then things rapidly and dramatically change. This is an interesting drawing. Maybe you know it or not. That's an IP routing path for an internet. This is a picture from, I think, 2008, but still, each tiny dot consists of several hundreds of IP addresses, whereas it means that for today, this internet holds 2.5 billion internet users. And in Latvia case, so there was published the statistic that 70% have used internet. That makes a tiny population of the whole internet, but still all the services, again, online banking, exchange of photos, whatever, is going in a binary code within this internet. And our speakers, or a task for our speaker is that just to show also the dynamics of Latvia. So I do represent Latvian State Radio Television Center. We are a CA authority at the same time. And here we can see, for example, one service, digitally signed documents, really qualified documents, is that dynamics is very rapid. And in context, what I told before, then our speakers or our session mainly will answer on the two questions. How, within this huge society, we can identify that, for example, Jānis Bokta is Jānis Bokta, and my intent is the intent what I really want to get. All the e-services mainly are based on those challenges, and we want to tell you our experience, how we do share this in Latvia. Can we do it on shared platforms? And yes, that's what our speakers are going to do. Now I will ask to take in a place for Arnis. So we discuss about him, met several times. We can, I think, to discuss hours and hours about the security. And I believe that Arnis will say what's security in a virtual world. Okay, Arnis.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, now you have me, yeah? My name is Arnis Vāslavs. I am representing Exigent Service Latvia. Actually, this is a company who are operating as service developers, software developers. And actually, there may be the question how we as a service developers are looking and what kind of ideas we are having by taking a look on this internet world, I would say. I must say thank you for the previous speaker for the terminology, because you have been using the word revolution. And actually, I must definitely agree and start my short speech with this term, because if we take from philosophy point of view to what is actually is revolution, we can say that this revolution means that a lot of let's say changes in the very short time period, where these change may have some impact, not directly, but also indirect impact to the other fields, other issues, which are not directly connected to the reasons or which initiate this change. And if we take a look on IT world, then we can say that we can easily see that in the world for the last 30, 20 years, the last 5-6 years are very, let's say, time-pressed, filled with a lot of changes in technologies. Not only the change in technologies, but also change how these technologies are used. We all know, if you take a look at the last 5 years, we each of us, I think, easily understand what is meaning between the terms bring your device, for example, cloud computing, think internet, and consumer internet. That means that we have a lot of new terms, new ideas. And if we speak regarding the information security, IT security, then also I must say that in the last 5 years, dramatically has been changed the philosophy of IT security, because for, let's say, the initial IT security normally are understood as a security oriented to secure some definite objects. Physical objects, which has some definite location, so security perimeter, data centers, different IT, let's say, the technologies and environment, workstations. Actually, we can say more or less that IT security has been oriented to the securing the corporate, owned, corporate, managed, governed resources. Nowadays, we can see that all these change in technology change the way how we are using these technologies. This means that now are missing these, let's say, these physical borders, and we are using the technologies generally outside from this corporate owned territory, and that means that that now we can say that the customer habits actually is governing where these technologies, this service must be provided. Now we can say that it's let's say 24 hours, any site, any time, any location, and that means that now that the security generally are servicing or oriented to the securing the service provider and service user, without definition where it is. Actually, it does mean that nowadays there is a lot of situations that when we can even don't know where the data saved, where the data are located. We just have a service to operate with this data. And then we make a question is, okay, what we can do in this situation? The problem is that if you take a look on these three components, service provider, service user, and the service channel between them, then we can see that actually this technology change also are connected to the change in the threats. The threats now is more oriented to the, if we speak about the service provider, this is the different denial of service attacks, the different threats to try to change, let's say, the identity of service provider, and also the threats to the service user. Because the question is that do the service user can prove his identity? Do the service user can control the means via which he is using the services? And if we take a look on some figures provided by, thanks to the Latvian CERT author, this is the computer emergency. That is a few slides from the CERT. We can see the latest statistics. Actually, for this year, we can see that there is easily seen that there is a definite trend to increase. All the time is increasing the number of high priority incidents. What does mean the high priority incidents is that incidents. Yeah. Sorry. Actually, the incidents oriented to the critical infrastructure service providers or state and public sector service providers to the users, and then we see that there is generally the attacks from the internet side are oriented to the service provider, the possibility to then provide this service, or the ability to trying to stop their service or change the content of service, and also is that a lot of attacks oriented to the between in the part of others, and also the phishing and malignating code. This is the attacks to the user identity, well known as a theft of user identity. And we see that actually these they became as a general task for the technology providers to secure the identity, secure your service user in the environment which actually, I must say, are not controlled by nobody, because it's not out of control from service provider, it's also generally out of control by from the user side. And then the question is what we as service developers, technology developers can do in this situation. The answer is not clear, because the technologies all the time is changing. But the first, what we are need to establish in this situation is a clear rules for all game players, for the service provider, service users. Actually, this means that it's a question regarding this legislation environment, where both parties are playing the game. This means that a clear understanding for all parties what is duties and the responsibility for, let's say, in the issue for the remote identity services, authentication issues, and all the issues connected with them. And actually, this question, this issue can be, and we see that in next presentation, are say covered generally also from the both sides, from the state authorities in the field of working on the legislation environment, and for the different service providers, developers, to having a good technologies which helps to the service user to keep his identity without the risks. And now we can see, now is the time for the next presentation.
Okay, but yes,
yeah,
I will switch off mine.
yeah.
I wanted to already give you one question. We got, and we will have this question session afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
But still, as a point from point of view of just regular citizen, what I hear that Obama officially announces Merkel that we don't listen to you anymore, and at the same time we all know the Snowden's case. And when we hear what Latvia is going to do with really serious services, for example, health, yeah, probably in one time we will have also internet voting. So really a serious those like state tasks can be in this environment, in this contradicting information going forward. Just
yeah. Actually, this is very complicated question, and we have been discussed a lot of with different people working in the identity services in this field. Actually, there is, let's say, two key points. The first one is technology. From one side, if we speak from the security point, we all know that there is no 100% security. That is doesn't exist at all. Because always, if we have something secure and stable, there always there can be developed technology which will try to, let's say, to find some let's say holes, security holes, and these security holes can be not only just in the technology but also, let's say, the different routines and environment, because normally technology are used by the people, by human bodies, and humans have let's say the tendency that they has mistakes, and this people this human element must always taken into account. From other side, there is a lot of technologies, logistics, procedures who helps to eliminate these mistakes and errors. And also, this is the one of the goal of the new technology, why the technologies are coming as new and development. Actually, the reason is that with the new technologies, we eliminate the mistakes created by previous technologies. That's the normal development issue. But of course, as I said, there is no 100% security, but anyway we must live, we must somehow go ahead. And therefore the other key issue is the trust. The people or technology use the trust to the technology providers. The problem that you mentioned with the Obama and all issues is that actually that in the game we found the players who was known that they are playing the game. There have been hidden players, and for these players there have been lost trust from the user side.
It was mentioned that in internet we could guarantee almost 99.9% security. Our task as CA authority is to provide 100% security for our transactions and for the identities. We say that we issue certificates for them. So in this presentation, I'll touch on issues how what it takes for us to do it. So as Janis already mentioned, on the internet there are two key components if we're talking about individuals. And the first one is how do we authenticate people? And again, so how can we be sure 100% that that person who says on the internet that he or she is, how can we know that that's what it is? And the second one, big issue, is the authorization of intent. And in Latvia, we separate these two issues in these two parts. So authentication, so that's who you are. And with social media and all kind of websites and services on internet, with email accounts and all that, we, or probably anybody in this room could identify him or herself with something. I don't know, Gmail, or that's what it is. But again, all those things anybody can create with no real, well, nobody is really checking that. So again, the question still remains: is it verified? Is it you or not? And then there's some little bit spectrum what it is. We can be anonymous, and then it's this verified. And this again, we are trying to work, and we work so that people are verified through our service. And then again, authorization. What is it? What do we understand by authorization? That is intent. One thing, I come into a bank and I show a passport and I say, that's me. And that is that there's some kind of transaction you want to do. And that is what we understand with authorization. And for example, one big part of authorization is signing contracts. And that's what in short, that what it is. Well, just to mention, the first part is the biggest issue. The lion's share goes to the first part of this, authentication. And this is, that is the most important thing. So yeah, as Janis mentioned, we are colleagues, and we are a certification authority with a trust service provider status. And that is what, at least from internet point of view, makes us trustworthy. And this is what we need. This is what we do. We issue annually. We suspend and restating certificates. We verify signatures. We issue timestamping, and those are just a few very important things, but not only things what we do. So what it takes for us to be a trust service provider. And why would you even trust me that we are trustworthy? And in Latvia, we have laws as any country, but we have specific laws here which deal with these issues. And one of the government agencies that the state inspector checks on us annually, and sometimes even more often, what we do and how we do it. And they are the ones who reissue or grant us this status. Two things that in our country are very important for this matter is this 4I principle. That means that if we say that that person is that person, that means that at least 2 people have verified him in physical world that is that person. So that is one of the very fundamental things, and that's what we have to maintain in all processes throughout the chain of various things. And then also by law, we have unlimited liability per every transaction, which is again, that puts a lot of pressure on us just from inside, from internal point of view, to work 100% on these issues. So, however, we have insurance, which would cover about $500,000 per transaction, but that is per transaction. So okay, and then they have granted us this trust service provider status, and that is something what you already could say, okay, well, I kind of believe this. But that is not only. On annual basis, we are audited by an independent, non-state agency. And this year it was KPMG, but it could be anybody. Each year it can be different, depending on who wins the... But again, that is another reason why you could trust us that we can verify people. So, because we are at least checked by 2 independent agencies. So and then once we have established that we can identify people through physical world and bring them to the internet world, the next thing is this authorization, and that is what we provide as a state-owned agency to the public, and that is the e-signature. And e-signature is it is becoming more and more popular. As Jānis showed earlier, the usage of the e-signature is rising about 35% annually, which is pretty impressive. But we are impressed by even in our company for the popularity. So in Latvia, you can use e-signature in four ways. One way, and the most in number-wise most popular, would be electronic ID, which been in Latvia almost for 2 years. We have about 130,000 users with activated certificates in electronic ID. So the second form would be our own issued card, which we just recently redesigned our card, which now has the SIM chip, which could be put in a USB flash reader and can be carried around just in a flash. And something innovative, what we came up with 2.5 years ago, is the virtual signature. That is something that you could literally using only non-physical identifications on the web. And the fourth way is for the bigger companies is the mass signature service, and that is also what we provide. So right after all this, then we are verified on all that. How safe are we? Not directly, but via electronic ID. For example, Swedbank, which is one of the largest banks in Latvia, just recently allowed all their users to start using our authentication and intent tools to use in their online banking. So, well, thank you. That's pretty much what I wanted to let you know.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Royce. And you described about some idealistic world, about 100% trustful identity in a virtual world. That's probably, it's very hard to believe, yes? That's a very nice challenge to go. And as also the first speaker told, that 100% sure is something really, really challenging. But then, as I believe in now in European Union, there is like two ways, yes? One is that we open borders, that let's say that Estonians, Lithuanians, whatever, Romanians can identify, can like give those certificates, and then the other approach is that should be stayed in a state. That state, to keep its sovereignty, has to hold at least its own infrastructure. What's your opinion or approach? What's the best?
Well, I guess that meant that there could be various ways of reasoning about this. But the way I see it is that, like even if we look at history, like local banks started out issuing these tools, which are very widely even right now used in Latvia. First of all, they did it because there was no other way, so they had to do something. But then there's this thing with what is called this 4i verification, and I believe that it could be done the best locally, at least on the first stage. You could identify, and from then on, sure, if there's one larger database with all those the information, sure, it could be, but I believe it should be locally. And I also believe that it should be done by government, in a sense as a passport is your identification on in analog world, state issued, and that probably should be the case in the digital world as well, because that would we trust our country. I mean, there are various levels, you know, but it varies from country to country. But I mean, very few people would argue that this passport is fake or something, unless it's fake. But that wouldn't be fake because of the government. It would be fake because somebody, I don't know, did something illegal. So from that point of view, locally state issued one which works everywhere, as like mobile telephone. We used to have camera, we used to have iPod, we used to have all these instruments and even several bodies. Now we have just telephone, and that would probably discard, or this tool would do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Royce. And yes, in Latvia, we can openly say that private sector, especially banks and mainly banks, in initial stage secured this authentication process. And that's why in Latvia we heavily use them. We are heavily like used to it, to this pattern. That's why this merging state like owned authentication within a private goes really hand within hand. That's why I think that also Edgar's, yes, please to take on the stage. He is not from a bank, he is from mobile telephone, and will tell what also private sector can do in terms of authentication.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Edgars Grandans. I work for Latvia's largest and the first mobile network operator. My day job is taking care of all the customers whom we can classify as business to business, that is enterprises, state agencies, government, ministries, everything that is not private persons. And today I will give you an insight into a product or a solution that we have developed initially for the country, the state, to complement the service of virtual e-signature. And then we have, in later stages, we have turned it into a solution that has commercial use and commercial purpose for enhancing business processes. It's called mobile code, or the M code, as I will refer to. So first, I will guide you through to what it is, how it works. Then I'll give you a brief insight into what the benefits might be or are, and then I will give you some instructions how you can become a user in case you have a Latvian passport or an ID card with you. So we heard physical documents mentioned, which is one of the 4 ways how to identify yourself or authenticate yourself. So you can have a document with you. You can have a code card in case you are a internet bank user. You can have a code calculator in case you represent either a wealthy household making large transactions or a company, or you can have an EID card with a reader. These are the 4 ways how you can, either in the digital world or in the real life, identify yourself. And the mobile code that we have developed initially for Latvian State TV and Radio Center is a great alternative to all 4 of those. It's a simple and fast and safe way to identify oneself online. This solution works across all mobile operators. This is not something that we have developed for our clients only. This is something that works for everyone who has a mobile phone, and it's free of charge for the users, for the end users. This is some of you might know, some of you might not know that we had a similar experiment here in Latvia, which was launched by Lattelecom, our sister company, a few years ago. It was called Mobile ID. It had some significant flaws, which led to this product being withdrawn. And 3 main flaws were that this product, this solution, was bound to one mobile operator. It was us. It was a paid service. People were forced to pay in case they wanted to use it. So it seems something that's not very special. But then again, if you think about having a fee that you have to pay every time you want to use your car keys, which you own, that makes you think. And third, it was not technology neutral. It worked on a specific type of SIM cards, which excluded 3 years ago any iPhone or any smartphone which had the micro SIM. How it works? You have a web system. It can be Gmail. It can be bank information system. It can be your internal web system if you are a business, if you are a company with a number of employees. Everyone should know their username, everyone should know their password, then you confirm it, and within 2 seconds you receive a code on your mobile phone via SMS. This is a one-time password that you can only use in this given system for 1 minute. After 1 minute it expires, and you can no longer use it, and you have to once again input your username and password. And then when you confirm your code, then you basically can start using whatever you want to use. How it works technically. there are three parties. There is me. There's the business system, or mail system, whatever, and the M-code server. So basically, you want to access the system. You use your username and password. Then the system asks or rather requests confirmation from the solution. M-code sends me a one-time password over the SMS. I enter this password. Then there's another confirmation request and a confirmation response. So basically, our system, what we do is we as a company, we provide this solution that interacts with the web systems of our clients, such as LV1, for instance. The possible applications of business, there is a huge array of what you might want to do, but the two most visible ones are, as I mentioned, basically user authentication in any type of web system. What we do is we provide, for a fair amount of money, we guarantee the user ID. We saw this funky picture that Roy was showing us, the guy with 4 eyes. That's exactly what we do. We are the 4 eyes. We welcome anyone and everyone into our 43 client centers out of 69. We are the largest retail network in the ICT field in this country, and we have equipped 43 of our client centers with people who have 4 eyes. And what we can do is basically we welcome people and issue them the mobile code. And you as a business, you don't need to keep a zoo of support systems. For instance, if you are in the business of, transportation, you should care about your core competences. You should care about your buses and tires and petrol. You should not be too worried, and you should not hire people to run support systems. And some of you might be IT guys. If you are, can you raise your hands? Are you happy when new systems are being introduced? Not really, right? Yeah. Would you be willing to pay some reasonable amount of money to get rid of some of those systems, to have a better night's sleep? You might. And it works both. It can be used, can be applied both for internal and external systems. It can be your web portal. It can be, let's say, a system that issues work orders for your employees. Imagine if you are a utility company that has 400 guys with ladders and axes and suitcases that travel around the country fixing stuff. Some of them are your employees and some of them are not. Some of them are contractors. One way is that you insure them with specific equipment that has either APN services or VPN, it doesn't matter. The other way is that you just simply send them away to one shopping center where you can be sure that you will find our shop and have them obtain mobile code. And then you just simply provide them with a basic web interface. And the second part is, the second application or the second group of applications is signing contracts, customer contracts, employee contracts, contractor contracts, doesn't matter. So that, and in this case, mobile code works hand in hand with a virtual e-signature. So basically what you get for your money is you get less visitors, you get more efficient processes, you get to spend less paper, you get to pay less overtime, and you get to pay less for fuel. We have one client who is about to use this service to enter energy market. Some of you know that in the beginning of next year, the electricity market will be liberalized in Latvia, and then anyone who wants to enter this market, they can do that. The flip side of the coin is that you have tens of thousands of people coming over willing to sign contracts. You don't really want to do that. You don't want to buy tons of paper. The benefits, I already touched upon some of the benefits, some of the most visible benefits, but as a summary, as a business, you get more, hopefully, you get better customer satisfaction, you get process efficiency, you save on customer service, you save on IT, and you get some additional security, because it might be a bold statement, but we are quite a big company, and we have good partners who help us run this service. They are called OpenID, and we can afford to get the best guys who take care of the security. It's not always the case that private enterprises, big or small, can be very competitive in attracting best IT specialists for their additional or extra systems. And for users, it's fast and safe. You always have your mobile phone. I regret that I forgot the name of the actress whom I'm going to quote right now, but she said something like, nowadays it's more scary to lose your mobile phone than to lose your virginity. That is quite true, I would say, because if you lose your passport that you might be using every now and then to travel somewhere, you might use your driver's license. You don't feel so sour about it. You might lose your code calculator, but if you lose your phone, then you notice it right away, and that makes us pretty sure that this is one great invention. It works on any phone with any operating systems in any mobile network. All you need to have a phone that is capable of receiving an SMS and a display for you to see the code and then write it down in the system. You have a single username and password that you can use within an unlimited number of systems. As I promised, what do you do now? In case you have your passport, you go to the nearest LMT shop or client center, show your passport and ID. You meet the person with 4 eyes, or rather 2 persons with double eyes, or a pair of eyes. You receive a code on your mobile phone. You show it to the people, and then you walk away with a contract, with agreement, and you get your username, which is quite simple because it's your phone number. You can't really forget your username here. And in addition, you don't have to own the number. You don't have to be the subscriber. You can use any phone number that you hold in your hand. Many of us have our employers pay your bills. Well, my employer pays my bills, of course, because I work there. And so if you go home, or you don't necessarily need to go home, you just need to complete the registration online. You go to a computer. You follow the registration steps, one of which is you select your secret image that will be displayed when you authenticate. So after you receive the code, we can have the functionality that the web system asks you to recognize which one of these multiple pictures is yours. Then you recognize it, and then that's an additional step that we have added to the classical something you know and something you have principle. Something you know is that you know your name and your password. Something you have the code in your phone. And the third step is the visual identifier. And then you're done. Each other. Well, once you are an M-code user, there's nothing else there's no other place you have to go to obtain e-signature. You just go online to the website of e-signature. You use the M-code to access, and you complete your profile, and that's it. And the system that I showed is pretty much the same. All the steps that you take previously, and once you are allowed to access the web system, there's an interface with the e-signature. You might be curious what are the billing principles in case you would like to introduce this solution in your business, or maybe you would like to brag to somebody that you have seen me and heard of this. So basically, there is an annual fee for each user. There is no license fee, no implementation fee, there is no installation or configuration fee, because there is nothing to configure, nothing to install. Once we reach an agreement, a colleague of mine will take a floppy disk, pay a visit to your IT staff, and they will find a way how to connect these 2 systems. There's no specific software. So I'm happy to say that this is a clear pay-as-you-grow principle. The more clients you have, the more users are using your system, the more you pay. If you decide to shut down your business or close the website, you no longer have any visitors and you don't have to pay, which is sweet. So thank you for your attention. If there is something that you would like to ask, do that.
I got one. So my mother all the time says, don't put all the eggs in one basket. So don't you think that this mobile phone one day are becoming like a one egg basket? I got everything, contacts, email, probably my bank accounts and now wallet, whatever, authentication, so on. Then really, what happens when I just lose it one day?
Well, what happens when you lose your suitcase?
I'm angry.
Yeah, you're angry. Well, if you lose the mobile phone, first, you notice that. Second, every code that you have had on your phone has already expired. And third is, don't tell anyone where you hide your keys. So basically, don't tell your password. And as I mentioned, this third thing, this visual identifier, it was included into the solution, taking into account that somebody might be willing to infect your mobile phone, your device, with a virus that somehow is capable of reading your SMSs and inputting them into places where they don't belong. To my best knowledge, I haven't seen a virus who can recognize an image that you have once selected, especially if it's coded and recoded. What was the elliptical coding or something of that sort? So, but if you have any doubts about the solution or the technical solutions, we have of course had all the breaking tests. We have had all the audits, but basically, if you lose your phone, then the biggest cost will be the phone, not the risk of somebody using your M code.
Okay, and I think that we can invite Juris, probably, who will give us the exact answer on our session about shared platforms, as Juris are representing the company that's now also, as I understand, are working on our national portal version 3, or it will be already second version, yes? So, and yes, Yuri.
So, yes, thank you, and now some kind of welcome to the real world, yes. Yes, welcome to the real world. Today I would like to present a few slides about our integration solution. Concretely, these slides you already saw today. Arnes presented them, yes, but I would like to present them from more technical point of view and from more security point of view. Yes, because I'm from beginning with this system, with those system from 2006 years, and we have some experience about this. That's why. So we have, from architecture point of view, we have a standard architecture. Yes, where we have some kind of presentation level, we have some kind of integration, and some kind of data level. Yes, and those two portals are the target of presentation. As already mentioned, yes, now we have a second version of Latvia LV. It will be available soon, I think till the end of this year, it's possible. And the main difference from the previous version is the ability to serve many services as necessary. Yes, for example, now it's possible this portal serve about 60 services. Yes, but in already in development are about 150 services, and of course the first version what were developed about 7 years ago do not provide necessary compatibility, and other thing was required from for now. Also, we have an integration platform. We have some kind of standard services like payment model, authentication, authorization, e-signature, data request services, exchange services, and the foundation of this system is a so-called catalog of services. Yes, we have a few interoperability standards, and if you would like to participate in this system, you need to follow those standards. It's a key question for you. Yes, and for example, we have a special standard how to create XML schemas. Yes, we have standards how to develop web services. And when you would like to create a service itself, it means that first of all you have to create some kind of schemas. Yes, then you develop web services based on them. Then you can use another services from another registries to employ in your service. This is the main business process of this system. Also, we have a special technical portal for web service developers and integrators who would like to make some kind of services or to employ already available services and some kind of another information system from government or from local authorities. From this presentation point of view, also I would like to make an attention to a few things. First of all, it's Latvia authentication solutions, so-called identity selector. Second is federated identity solution, SSO across different government portals, and central government integration and industry integration platform cooperation. When we're talking about the first identity selector, yes, and about the authentication in internet, we have such as digital citizen, yes, and we have a few providers. All these providers already have mentioned, and I hope, for example, that somehow we will see also your presented provider in this list. The main ability of this provider is to prove your identity and to give us a Latvian person code. For us, it's a key that what we could recognize it person in Latvia. Yes, what we could serve something what you would like. Also, it's possible to use other providers. I call them soft providers. Yes, because none of them provide a personal code, and the usage of these providers is very limited in a government. It is, for instance, the only. Yes, and for example, such provider could be used with a service electronic application to undergraduate program of study. Yes, this is a very popular service because it provides about 10 universities where you can employ. Also, just because it could be a situation when future student does not have account in bank or ID card. It's possible. That's why this provider could be used. And what we have created some kind G2G service, yes, where we have collected all the available providers, yes, and also we connected banks to this system, and and I would like to say that in fact over there, yes, we have many different protocols. Yes, well, okay, all of them are similar each to other, but there are some small difference. Yes, from in somewhere what do not give you a possibility to use them without any special coding. And what we did, we have created a service for Latvia LV and other government and local authorities portals where you receive the authentication data about person in one standardized way. This way is formed with VS Federation and SAML protocols. So the portals just receive some kind of security token for him. Yes, and this security token is signed with this authentication provider. In fact, yes, this also is authentication provider. So the second thing I would like to focus is the cooperation of central government integrator and industry integration platform. In Latvia, we have such case like a industry integrator. Yes, the idea is very simple. For instance, we have a health integrator. Yes, a health provides some services for hospitals, for citizens, and for other with medical connected institutions, where it's not, and this data is not and this data is not very interested for other government institutions. Yes, therefore over there we could transform and transport this data just between this industry integration in this industry integration platform. But when we would like to use some kind of services from this small integration platform, this health integration platform for government, in this integration system, it's necessary just a few minutes to publish service. It means one registration, and to give some registry information system or service rights to do something with this service. This is possible because the semantic is, I mean XML schemas, I mean the protocols are similar, and for example, XML native Latvia LV and this XML schemas is about 600 count of these schemas, but the health gave us about 1,000 of schemas, and all this. All those schemas make a common semantic for this integration solution. Also, it's very interesting. For example, for a health integrator understand VS security tokens. Yes, VS could request data by using behalf of or act as behaviors. Behavior model. Behalf of behavior model is useful when other government registry request some data from a health. And act as behavior model is useful when citizen requests some data. And with this behavior model, we provide also an authorization of this citizen. I mean, for example, each citizen could have some delegation to his or she child's, and so on, by this way. This is our Latvian maybe specific if we compare this solution to other countries. But as I already mentioned, both these solutions are based on a common semantic, and in fact, to employ some service, it's required just a few minutes of work, because the standardization from these parts is already done, and all the technical solution is already done. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. So it was so. To my mind, you did. There is behind all this is a quite complicated system and logics, and that's really nice that an state makes a unification, centralization. But can you, for example, this shared platform that's done among state institutions also go to a private sector? For example, there is a lot of clouding services that provide a private sector, and then there definitely is there is necessity for authentication. Can we, and does state can give such a, let's say, model to a market for everyone?
Well, yes, I think from technical point of view, this is not a question. It's possible, of course. The only problem what I see is legislation, Salvas, because already you heard from, for example, in previous session, where Exogen people told that to sign one paper takes about one year. This is a problem, in fact. Well, and I just waiting the situation when at least the service availability through this integration platform will be enough to participate. That's why it is a quick answer.
Okay, thank you. So it's a time for everyone, yes, for a question and answers, despite we are out of time. But anyway, if there is some question.
Thank you. Okay, now it's working. Thank you. Coming from the northern side of the border from Estonia, and perhaps I won't address my question directly to any of the speakers, but perhaps I would like to have their opinion, or whoever of them wants to say something. In Estonia, we're discussing a lot about not the security or technological solutions of the data security, but more so of the human behavior or the human habits. And for instance, there was a perfect example brought in the beginning by a very good moderator of today's parallel session, that Obama says that I'm no longer listening what Angela is doing, or Angela is doing. That is there a discussion in Latvia, or how much authority has the state or the service providers that I'm giving as a person data to either LMT or some kind of state service, and that they are somehow able to do what they want with it? That how can I preserve that or select myself that, okay, this data, that what I want others to see is available, that no one else but my family doctor may see my health records, or nobody else as my teacher may see my grades from the maths discipline. And how are the developments in this area, that, for instance, perhaps I don't want LMT to know everything or everyone to whom I'm making calls or SMSs, or even though I know that they know it.
Thank you for the question, and thank you for coming from our northern border. That means that we don't speak in English in vain. There is at least one person who appreciates. I don't think there is a precise answer to your question.
You feel free to give your personal opinion.
Well,
Doesn't have to be your...
Well, we are a private company. We have quite a few shareholders. Some of them are from the private sector, some of them are from the public sector. But we, as a private company, we are liable for everything we do or don't do. Of course, there's a let's say a spectrum of affairs that relate our cooperation with the secret services. In case they kindly ask, we of course do not refuse them. That is something that is dealt with the guys that I very rarely see, and whom I probably would dislike seeing. If you speak about the daily operations, then of course we have a large number of employees. We have 485 employees altogether, and the operator and the retail network is another 300 people. And what we do is that we simply allow people to see the information that they need to see, and at any given moment you must be capable of explaining why you have peeked into things. If I may disclose this, that we are not allowed to check out people. For instance, if I would want to know whom my wife has called, it would be easier for me to ask her. Because if I would peek into the systems and try to find out something that I don't need for my work, if I'm not a technician, I don't need to know how many people there are in the base station, then I don't do that. Does that answer your question, more or less?
Somewhat.
Arvids also had their same opinion.
Just if you think that we know where people travel, we know how people switch from base station to base station. But if you would be a postal service and you would come to me and ask, say, well, I have a problem. I'm not convinced. I'm not entirely sure that my postmen, they actually deliver the messages. Can you check it out for me? Well, I can say, well, in the rural area where they travel kilometers, I can see that, well, they go kilometer by kilometer. But if you would like us to check out a suburb here in Riga, well, they all just hang around in an area of 1 kilometer approximately. Well, that's the answer.
I think so. I can add a little bit and comment this question. In point of data privacy, actually, it's very critical that we all understand the game players. The first one, of course, is the data subject by himself, because you, as a data subject, must always remember where you left your data tail. Your data, if you are going internet, you must understand that there is, let's say, this is other world where you left your steps and your let's say your virtual body as a, let's say, and you even very often don't control what your virtual body are doing, and that's who has access to your virtual body, to your data, and for which let's say where the data located, and for which the, let's say, data period is located, because the data stays very permanent, and that's mean that as one of the very complicated question is that how you control your data in a virtual environment, how you erase your data, if you wish to do that, and actually it's not a very easy question. That's the first issue. The second part under the game is, let's say the data operator to whom you pass your data, and again there is two players, I would say. One of them is the technology, the second is the procedures. And in point of technologies, let's say there can be find the answer. There is a lot of encryption technologies that let's say means how the data can be kept in security. Of course, there's again questions of that, how the encryption can be provided in safe enough way, but it can be solved. But the problem is that, let's say, with the procedure, as I said in previous speech, that there is the, let's say, procedures means that there is the humans who are using these technologies, are working with these technologies. And in point of security, it is the security of procedures. The critical role is playing the controller, the person with these 4 eyes or second pair of eyes. It's who are providing trust service. In trust service, in point of that you are trusting to somebody who are controlling the service provider. One of the way is that this trust service is provided by state authorities, state controllers, data inspection bodies, or whatever we call it in different countries. All the, let's say, the auditors, the other companies who has a, let's say, high level of trust, and which is based on, let's say, the finance responsibility. And that means that only these all 3 players together, technology, the data subject, and the trust provider, if they all are playing the game in the simultaneously on the same level, then we can say that we can reach the goal.
It was a short answer or a comment. My short answer would be that yes, it's going on discussion, because when we go back also to this physical life, and for example compare in a PC, then definitely you put there documents, photo, video, and there is usually a mess when you look in a regular persons. Yes, you don't do it in a physical life, because there are those you make an order because of those physical needs. But as life goes on, experience also for a virtual world comes out us. We do think about those Yes, also about those data, who can see my data, who can't see my data, and okay, then thank you for your time. I thank you for speakers and for a session. So have a nice the rest of the evening. Thank you.